Welcome to the Pembroke School 5th grade Fine Arts Week band performance, A band. A band made up entirely of 5th graders. We're going to get things underway with a piece actually that these students started with Mr. Hicks. Procession of Heroes. I feel like putting this song together with the students was a pretty easy thing for me personally, mostly because they had done a lot of work on it already. Our focus on the piece has mostly been towards playing long phrases, so really resisting the urge to breathe frequently, instead breathing as little as possible, to create music that isn't chunky and segmented, but instead to create almost like broader paint strokes with their music making. I wrote this next piece while on a trip with my family on the Midland Trail, and I feel like it's an important one to me, not necessarily because I wrote it, but because this piece kind of connects these students in some way to the local community, to other artists in the community as well. I guess what I mean by that is the Northbridge March is meant to depict as one of the skirmishes that happened during the battles of Concord and Lexington. The Northbridge, you can walk across it today on the Midland Trail. So in that sense, this piece kind of connects us to a real historical event, and one that happened somewhat close to here. Also, this piece kind of sprang from a composer's imagination. Since these guys know the composer, they kind of have maybe a more personal insight into the genesis of the piece and what exactly makes it tick. I thought I'd also acknowledge this piece actually features some fine flute playing from Brenda Slonsky. One thing I asked the students when they first got the piece was that the part was too easy for them. And it is a somewhat challenging piece, but the piece was too easy for them. I gave them these harder versions of the parts. And Brenda asked me, pretty quickly, hey, we need this hard part. And I said, okay, here you go, we'll see if you can play it. Thinking there's no way she'll be able to play it. And only because of the challenge of it and the level of detail associated with it, but she totally proved me wrong, and is playing some pretty fireworky stuff as we get to the end of the piece. So try and give that a listen throughout the rest of the texture. Before the piece, a quick poem by Ralph Waldo Emerson.
By the rude bridge that arched the flood, your flag in April's breeze unfurled. Here once the embattled furnace stood, and fired the shot heard around the world.
Our last piece is a familiar one, of course, Star Wars. When the students first got this, I think they were, still are, probably to a degree excited to play it, but they quickly realized that there's more to playing Star Wars than just enjoying it. From the perspective of this version of the piece really pulls no punches. It's almost exactly the same as the actual movie version of Star Wars. So there's a lot of complexity here, a lot of sharps, a lot of flats, a lot of fast moving stuff. And then because of the level of complexity, the students have been asked to focus on two things. First, their music, naturally, to read the music as they're playing, but also to kind of get away from the music as much as possible by looking up at the conductor, not necessarily to just text the beat and see my gestures to play together, but also, I think more importantly, to rather than focus on their own part, to focus on the parts of others around them. So to kind of not just be conscious of their own musicianship, but to connect to others. Which I think music, and especially dance playing, is a pretty good job of doing, just putting ourselves in a position where we're not just thinking of the self, but thinking selflessly in a musical context. This is Star Wars. So a few minutes to reset the stage. 5th grade band members will return to the cafeteria. We'll set the risers up. Please bear with us. I think we did this in 4 minutes, 30 seconds, and 0.15 or something for the 4th grade. Look, we're at it already. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is your Pembroke 5th grade chorus. So, first tune on the agenda is One Bottle of Pop, which pretty simple song that we learned to break the ice back in January, but instructive in the sense that the students are going to sing it as a chorus first, and they're going to do it in halves as a round, and then they're going to do it in thirds as a round, in sections of 3. So what this demands of them musically is the ability to listen to their own part, but also to have an awareness of another part around them. So much like the band, the students are thinking about self and their own musical experience, but also trying to connect it to other, particularly when we're doing it in the more complicated round version. This is One Bottle of Pop. Next tune, Old Dan Tucker, is when the students learn this, they first learn the folk song Old Dan Tucker, which is a traditional American folk tune. Then after that, we kind of spruced it up a little bit. We're doing this pretty sophisticated arrangement of Old Dan Tucker, and in order to interact with this tune, I think the students sort of foreshadowed what they might be doing more in 6th grade course or 7th grade course and 8th grade course, where rather than just learning by memory or by learning by reading the words, they actually looked at a real sheet of chorus music to kind of just have a glimpse of the sophistication of what harmony looks like, what the piano part looks like, and how all those things connect. This is Old Dan Tucker. as Mike Walsh said after we rehearsed that song, what's with you music guys and all these depressing songs? But not to worry, we'll change the pace right here with a little dynamite. I feel like instructionally, when the students realized they were doing this tune, kind of similar to Star Wars. They were excited about it. They were into it. I think they're into performing it. But musically speaking, what we focused on was our vowel shapes. Just the concept that when you're singing, you deliver most of the sound and most of the character in the text through the vowels. So a lot of our preparation is focused on not dwelling in the consonants of every sound, but instead really focusing on our long vowel sounds. One really important thank you before we close up shop today. I'd like to acknowledge the Georgetown music parents for helping us provide live accompaniment for tonight's performance. Their efforts were crucial in bringing Deb here to Georgetown. Along with that, I'd like to thank Dr. Tanner also for her efforts in bringing Deb here as well. I feel like the live accompaniment adds a lot to performance. Also, on the reverse of your programs, there's some information about the Georgetown music parents and the work they do across all levels here at Georgetown Public Schools in support of the music program. So please feel free to get involved. They do things for Pembroke. They're also active here at the high school, and drop them, or I think my email address is on there as well. I'll be honest, if you email me, I'll just forward it to them. But either way, it's the right people, I think. But join the Georgetown music parents, please. When we're finished, 5th grade students will leave from whence they came, so out the side door, and they'll return to the cafeteria, and you can collect them there. Let's rock out with some dynamite, shall we?
And we're giving him a cardboard. Thank you.
Thanks very much, everyone. More to come, of course, both for the 5th grade band and for chorus as well. See you at the next show.